Greetings and welcome to our series of weekly devotionals. We're moving right along this week through some selected verses in Psalm 90, a psalm traditionally attributed to Moses, and a psalm dealing with time and the length of our days and human mortality and finitude. And when I first started in my time in ministry, specifically at Forks, but also in other churches that I've served, I remember years ago spending so much time preparing for a worship service on Sunday morning and arriving early. And I would, in those early days, I would practice my sermon 12, 13, 15 times to make sure I could go through it and preach it perfectly. And I went through every detail of the worship service with a fine-tooth comb, trying to make sure everything worked out perfectly. I like to know that I had all my sort of I's dotted and T's crossed. And of course, as time progresses and moves on, I learned that no matter how much time I spent preparing, that nothing ever worked out exactly as I had planned. That every single Sunday morning, something happened that wasn't in the playbook, so to speak. And that no matter how many times I practiced my sermon, I always slipped up on a few words or mispronounced something or forgot a sentence or lost my train of thought at times. I learned that no matter how much I tried, I couldn't control everything. And I think that's something we as human beings have a hard time learning. We like to be in control. We work so hard and plan so diligently and have so much anxiety over control. Let the favor of the Lord our God be upon us and prosper for us the work of our hands. O prosper the work of our hands. Scholars suggest that this verse alludes to fear of the Lord leading to wisdom, that allowing God to take our work, our efforts, and bless them truly is a wise way of living. In other words, letting go and letting God, giving up control and reminding ourselves that ultimately God is in control of our days, our work, our ministry, our lives. There's a great passage in a book by Barbara Brown Taylor that I refer to often when it comes to the notion of control, and I'd like to share a little bit of this passage with you, if I may. She writes, as we grow older and as we become adults and we learn the ways of the world, she says, year after year we add to our experience of the world and pushing against our limits to find out what will budge and what will not, and gradually we gain a sense of our own power. We find that we can make certain things happen and we can prevent other things from happening. We can make friends and we can make enemies. We can say yes and we can say no. Some of us get so carried away with this discovery that we begin to think we are in control of our lives. We come of age and we decide what to be. We open bank accounts and make 5-year plans. We take our vitamins and work out 3 times a week at the gym. We space our children 2 years apart and raise them by the book, and 9/10 of the time it actually seems to work. Enough of the time so that we convince ourselves it is true, that if you just do everything right, then everything will turn out all right, that human beings really can take charge of their lives. Until something happens. The income evaporates. The doctor finds a spot on the x-ray. The child's grades go down, and it is like being trapped inside a fine automobile when the brakes fail. In a split second, everything changes. One moment you are comfortably and safely in command of your journey, and the next you are being flung down the road in an expensive piece of machinery that will not stop. I've lost control. That is what good people say when bad things happen to them. I've lost control of my life. I have said it myself, but it is not true. Human beings do not lose control of their lives. What we lose is the illusion that we were ever in control of our lives in the first place. The good news for us Christians is that God is in control of our lives. Amen.